Welcome everybody to the Town of Waterboro Planning Board meeting for May 7th, 2025. Angela, can we start with roll call?
Rick Madruga.
Here.
James Farias.
Here.
Rebecca Higgins.
Here.
Stacy Walker.
Here.
Diane Gray. Here. Jill Pruska. Here.
All right, the next item on the agenda is a public hearing, and we do have one tonight for the Town of Waterboro Public Works Building located at 100 Bennett Hill Road. Owens, McCullough?
Yeah.
Is there? Okay. From Sebago, Technics.
I answered to a lot of different things. Don't worry about it.
So, yeah, if we could start with an overview for the attendees, that would be great.
Sure. So I think it was back in April 7th that we were last before the planning board and sort of walked you through the whole project. If we could go to, it would be, I think it's 3 or 4 sheets in. It's a heck of a lot easier to see. Now, well, we can start here, just to get folks oriented. Let's see if I do this right. Okay. So here's the transfer station that's there now. The sand and salt shed is right there. The current Public Works building, I guess it's a Public Works building, is right here. And there's a gravel area that's kind of uphill. And we're going to put the new Public Works building right in between the two of them. And just so people kind of get oriented, here's the entire parcel that the town owns. It's pretty good size, so we're kind of right in here, and here's the, down here's the gravel pit in the town. So that gets you kind of oriented on where the site is. Next. The next, back one. Nope, forward, one more. Perfect, thank you. Appreciate that. So the proposed building, as we sort of talked about the last time, we're looking to do a 12,000 square foot pre-engineered metal building, 120 feet long, 100 feet wide, and then there's about another 2,400 square feet of a kind of a lean-to on the back side of the building. And I've got some architectural plans here, which I'm not sure were in that most recent packet, but I can talk through them. I think we've seen them before. So, but the building will be pre-engineered metal building, drive-through bays on both sides, a small area for staff office space, mechanical, electrical, bathrooms, restrooms, things like that. An area for mechanics bay. There'll be a wash bay in the facility, pretty basic wash bay, but there will be one within the facility. This was approved at referendum with the town. So the building will be, like I said, a pre-engineered metal building, doors on each side, concrete slab. The office space will, the smaller office space will also be a concrete floor, some framed walls, bathroom fixtures, things like that. And then a staff area with a small, I call it a kitchenette, just some counter space on it. That area, the bay space, so right here, I'm sorry, the crew space will be air conditioned and heated. We're going to use commercial VRF heat pumps to heat the building. The bay space will be a little different. That won't be air conditioned. That'll just be heated. So in the wintertime inside. And when I say heated, it's not going to be 80. It'll be heated up to 60, 70 degrees in that range. And then that'll have the roof-mounted propane-fired unit heaters in the building. It's too expensive to try to use heat pumps in that big a space. It's just not efficient. So we end up with some propane tanks, which will do that comes up with the building. Building obviously needs electrical service, so there's a pole here right now. We're looking to put a new transformer at the pole here. The electrical engineer, Allied engineer right now, there's Salis O'Brien, and the electrical engineer out to look at it. But it looks like we can do a new transformer here. There's a generator that the town has already purchased. that will use, I think it was a used generator, correct? And that'll go right here in this location, so the power will come in, then there'll be underground conduit over to the building, to the electrical room in the building. And then if all goes well, we're hoping to run the existing public works in the sand and salt shed off the same generator if power goes out. It's a single phase unit. We don't have a big electrical load on the building. It's just not a heavy electrical load. The sand and salt shed is just some lights, basically the same for the public works buildings here now. And then here there'll be lights, fans, things like that that will be running. We are looking to put in a new septic system for this building right here. In this location, our site evaluator's been out on site. The soils are perfectly fine in that location. It's reasonably close to where we want it to be. We had originally thought about, I think when I was at the planning board meeting the last time, we had thought about maybe coming this way down here, tying into the existing public works building and trying to expand that septic system, and that just didn't pan out. That system had basically one chamber, and it's just for a couple of employees, and the logistics of doing it just didn't work out. So it was much more effective just to come over here. And we had some elevation concerns in getting over to it, so we're running over to here. There's a well that we'll have to put in for the building right here, in this location is where we've chosen. When I talked to everybody the last time, the site back in the day, there was a tannery that they used it to dispose of tannery waste on the property. And years ago, we went through a VRAP, well, we didn't, the town did, went through a VRAP. They hired a company called Ransom Environmental that took them through a VRAP. And when they got the approval, VRAP is a Voluntary Response Action Program. It's basically self-reporting, but by self-reporting, you have protections against liabilities. They don't come back on you later on. Because tanneries could be tannery waste had a lot of solvents and could be kind of nasty. It turned out they really didn't have any real hits or anything on it. In fact, we even tested, as part of this project, we tested the water quality in the existing transfer station, and it's potable. It's fine to drink. I don't think they are. I think they have bottled water down there, but it passed the test okay. So we'll put a well here. We'll stay 300 feet. The old tannery lagoons, one was kind of right in the area of the sand and salt shed, and then I think there was another one over in this location. So there's it's hard to see on it, but I think there's a 300-foot line that comes around. So we're going to put the well outside of that 300-foot line, because that's what it said to do in the VRAP. So we'll be compliant with that. The building location is, if you stood up there right now, look, kind of go up the gravel access road, which will keep the use, and there's already kind of a gravel area that's served as a laydown area over the years, and that's where the location will go. There is a snowmobile trail that kind of comes right through here, and what we're going to end up doing is kind of relocating it just up above and keep that intact. Because I have to, when you get up sort of top the hill, I've got to, the way the building roof kitchen and everything is, I've got to drain, I got to be able to capture the water, the storm water that comes off of it. And it's all internally drained. We're taking the water down into the gravel pit, and just wooden buffers and just letting it disperse out naturally into the sand and gravels. It's an inexpensive, effective way of dealing with storm water. Propane tanks here. Because we're going to have a wash bay in the facility, I'm not allowed to put the discharge from the wash water into the septic system. That's prohibited. Even floor drains are prohibited from going into the septic system. So the wash bay water, the floor drains in the building will be collected. They'll go through an oil water separator, and then they have to go into a holding tank that would be pumped periodically. The oil water separator removes the oils and stuff that comes out of it. That usually gets pumped up by somebody like Clean Harbors or an environmental company. And then a septic company comes in and pumps out that water periodically, and then goes to probably Sanford is my guess here for disposal. So we do have to put that in there. The well, I think it's over in this corner over here. There'll be about a 500-gallon water storage tank, because when they wash, you never know how much water you're actually going to get out of the well. The wands and the wash water could take 4 to 6 gallons a minute. So we'll have a buffering tank that when they need it, they can use it. And it's not used every single day, but the idea is to be able to have a supply of water inside the building where it's heated and doesn't freeze, so that they'd be able to take care of that. Inside the building won't have a crane or anything like that. It's a pretty fundamental building, but the purpose is to really give these guys a place to get equipment out of the weather. Trucks that might have sand or other materials in it, when they tend to sit outside, especially in the winter and freeze and thaw, it's a lot harder on them. And I think, as I understand it, the town eventually is probably going to be doing more and more plowing and winter maintenance, maybe. But you kind of plan for the inevitable in there. So it's kind of an open bay space in here, then the office area here. The access will be just like it always has been, around and up to this look, up to here. We are going to pave a 50-foot strip around the building because of the equipment coming in and out, tracking back and forth on it. The project's going to be put out as a design-build project. We're going to, once we hopefully get through this process, then we would put it out to RFP and a bid to building contractors to construct it. Again, it's a pretty fundamental, straightforward building, but as everybody's probably seen, costs and prices continue to sort of go up and down. We don't have a clue on what tariffs mean to this at the moment. There's building manufacturers that are U.S. source steel, so it may be just fine. We don't, but we'll find out when we put it out for bid. We'll see what we get back for bid prices on it. So we talked about the septic, the water, the propane tanks, paving around the building. If the bids come back and we are a little over budget, or if there's budget constraints or issues, we probably do away with the lean-to at the moment. Maybe just put the foundation in, but not do the lean-to piece of it. And it could be that paving may have to be pulled back or done out of an operations budget, but we're hopeful to do the whole thing. That's the goal, but we're trying to be really conscientious on costs so that we can get the building constructed the way we hope to. And time-wise, through this process, hopefully this month, then Matt and Jason are going to be right after me to get the bid documents together and out the bid, but we'll probably end up in getting documents back probably sometime in June. Usually takes a couple, 3 weeks to select the contractor as a design build project. What we'll do is we put together performance requirements, and each design builder sometimes uses different building manufacturers and may have different approaches to systems to try to help us get to our budget. So we just have to sort of evaluate all those alternatives to make sure it's consistent with what we want. Sometimes we could conceivably, this happened to me in Westbrook when we did a design build for their public works facility. The low bid wasn't the one we ultimately selected because we felt there was better value long-term out of a different one. So we try to balance between cost and overall value. So hopefully we'll get through that, get the bids back in June, award a contract in July or so. Then construction would probably start this late summer or early fall. It depends on how quickly we can get the building through the design builder. They have to put in a place for the order for the buildings on it. And then my best guess is probably it'd be occupied in spring, early summer of 2026. we hope. So that's the plan. Right? Did I miss anything? Is that about right? Okay.
That's the goal.
What's that?
That's
you
the
guys
goal.
What's that?
That's the goal.
It's an aggressive schedule.
Yeah, it could be. So this building, because it's relatively simple building, construction may not take as long. The fit up and finish isn't as sophisticated as some of the other buildings that go in. We're probably not going to end up, some of the metal buildings have these pre-engineered metal sandwich panels and are a little more complicated on the structures. This building will likely have, I call it bad insulation, but it'll be like the vinyl insulation, but the 2021 code that has come in, the design builder will have to figure out how they meet some of those requirements. There's been some change. So just this spring, the main uniform building and energy code changed and adopted the 2021 IECC, which is the energy code, which increases insulation. And you get to deal with that kind of stuff, right, Angela? So that, yeah, you do, right, John? Yeah, the two of you do. So well, it'll be interesting to see how they each address that. And then we will have to apply to the State Fire Marshal's office for a general construction permit. The building won't have to be sprinkled. It doesn't have the size and volume, and there'll be separation walls so that occupancy areas and others are separated so that we won't have to sprinkle the building. That's a whole different world, especially if you're on a well. It just adds tremendous cost to the project. So that's where we're at. And I don't know if you have anything else to add, or Matt or Jason?
No, I think you about covered it.
Thank you.
Any questions from people in attendance, or just here to learn? Sounds good. I guess we'll end the public hearing, and we'll move on to old business, which is the Town of Waterboro Public Works Building, 100 Bennett Road, Hill Road, Owens, McCullough, Sebago, Technics.
I'm back again. You're bad penny, sorry about that.
So I think, based on our last review, I'm trying to recall, I think there were a few things you were going back. We got the bigger plans, right? That was one of the...
Yeah. Parking, I needed to add, showed stalled parking on the plans, which we did, an ADA parking space on the plans. The septic system, we needed to sort of resolve where that was going,
Yeah.
Which we did. And then the electrical, we hadn't fully resolved, which we now have on the plan. And I think the last plan I had there was a line on for the well and the setback from, and that was, I explained that was incorrect. I fixed that. It was just how it's drawn on the plan. I think those were the items.
Yeah, those were all the things that I recall us mentioning.
Yep.
And the widening of the office space, but that was not a requirement, just
Yeah, inside the building, there was a little bit of a change in the office configuration of the office space inside the building, but it was mostly an interior thing. So there's a shower in the facility, and to make it so that it was gender neutral, anybody could use it, it was in a storage area, and we had to tweak that a little bit. Because if I put it in, say I just put it in the men's locker room, then how do I get women? If I put it in the women's locker room, how to get it in there? So we just separated it out, gave it its own separate access. And then there was an office here out front, which is really going to be more of a reception storage area. And I think we changed that, wasn't it?
Any questions from the board? It's pretty straightforward. So I need a motion to find the application complete.
Make a motion to find the application complete for 100 Bennett Hill Road, the Public Works Building.
And I second the motion.
All those in favor? All right, so then, can I have a motion to adjust the agenda to add the findings of facts for 100 Road?
We're adding that under new, old business?
Would it be new
It
business,
would
right?
be new, so we have to, all right.
Yes, to add it under the new,
All right.
as an agenda item under new business, thank you.
I make a motion to add to the planning board under new business. Finding facts.
Yeah.
Before we do that, we
Yeah.
should before we do the findings of facts, we need to approve or not approve the plan, besides just finding it complete.
Oh,
Yeah.
yes, okay. So can I get a motion to approve the plan?
I motion to approve the plan for 100 Bennett Hill Road.
I'll second that.
All those in favor? All right. Angela, we didn't vote on the adding to the agenda, correct?
No, you had the motion from Stacy.
Okay. We need a second.
I'll
to the
remake
motion.
that motion.
Okay.
I'll second the motion.
All those in favor? All right. So, findings of fact and conditions of approval, site plan review, conditional use, site plan name, Town of Waterboro Public Works Building. Property owner, Town of Waterboro, site location, 100 Bennett Hill Road, East Waterboro, 04030. Size and number of lots, units, 12,000 square feet, 1 public works garage. Zoning district, agriculture and residential. Assessor's map lot, map 8, lot 47, applicant is Town of Waterboro. Information reviewed by the planning board, done the staff reviews, site walk was not applicable. Conditions, applicant will comply with all written and oral plans and directives. So, the Waterboro Planning Board has reviewed the above noted development utilizing the Waterboro standards for reviewing land site plans and the Waterboro zoning ordinance. Based on the application and materials submitted in support of the application, together with the evidence submitted at the public hearing on the application, the Planning Board makes the following findings with respect to the standards of Article 2, Section 2.10 of the zoning ordinance listed below. Number 1, the proposed development meets the definitions and/or requirements set forth in the zoning ordinance. We have marked here the standard is met. Does everybody agree? Number 2, the proposed development will not create fire safety hazards by not providing adequate access to the site or the buildings on the site for emergency vehicles, adequate dry hydrants, or adequate access to off-site dry hydrants and from there to the site. Is marked, the standard is met with a note that says the structure will have a 50-foot wide paved access around the entire building. Everybody good? Number 3, the proposed exterior lighting will not create hazards to motorists traveling on adjacent public streets, be inadequate for the safety of occupants or users of the site, or will damage the value and diminish the usability of the adjacent properties. It's marked as the standard is met with a note that says the building will have downcast light packs only. There will be no light poles on site other than what is already on premise. Everybody good? Good. Number 4, the provisions for buffers and on-site landscaping provides adequate protection to neighboring properties from detrimental features of the development. Standard is met. There's a note that says will be a wooded buffer maintained. We good? Number 5, the proposed development will not have a significant detrimental effect on the use and the peaceful enjoyment of the abutting property as a result of noise, vibrations, fumes, odor, dust, glare, or other cause. It's marked as the standard is met. There is a note, there is no use change in the site as the existing garage and salt shed are currently on site. Good? Number 6, the provisions of vehicular loading and unloading and parking and for vehicular and pedestrian circulation on the site and onto adjacent public streets will not create hazards to safety or will not impose significant burdens on public facilities which could be avoided by reasonable modification of the plan. It's marked as the standard is met. Very good. Number 7, the bulk, location, height, or design of the proposed building structures or paved areas or the proposed uses thereof will not have a significant detrimental effect on private development on adjacent properties or on the value of adjacent properties which could be avoided by reasonable modifications of the plan. It's marked as the standard is met. Very good. Number 8, the design of the site will not result in significant flood hazards or flood damage and is in conformance with applicable flood hazard protection requirements. It's marked as the standard is met with a note, the project is not in a flood zone. Everybody good? Number 9, adequate provisions have been made for the disposal of wastewater or solid waste for the prevention of ground or surface water contamination. It's marked as the standard is met with a note, the building will be serviced by a subsurface waste system designed to meet the building's needs by a certified site evaluator. Everybody in agreement? Number 10, adequate provisions have been made to control erosion or sedimentation. Marked as the standard is met with a note, sediment and erosion control will be managed and mitigated utilizing best management practices. Very good? Good. Number 11, adequate provisions have been made to handle stormwater runoff or other drainage problems on the site, and have proposed stormwater detention ponds are adequate to serve stormwater on or from the site. It's marked as standard is met with a note, drainage swalls and level spreaders on site will funnel and disperse and drain it and disperse.
There's an extra and.
There's an extra and, yeah. Drainage swalls and level spreaders on site will funnel and disperse drainage and runoff. Really good with the removal of the additional and. Number 12, the proposed water supply will meet the demands of the proposed use and is adequate for the fire prevention purposes. It's marked as standard is met with a note, the building will have a private well and a charged fire hydrant is located approximately a half mile down at the intersection of Bennett Hill Road and Secocas Trail Main Street. I'm just pausing on the half mile, the description of the intersection.
Half mile.
Yeah, I'm wondering if this is it specific enough, you think?
Well, it says on the corner, but the intersection.
Yeah.
I don't know if the half mile so much, or just the intersection of Bennett
It's
Hill
probably close to
and Main Street.
half mile.
We're good, that was written.
Maybe just the intersection description.
That's what I was thinking, just something that,
Just get down the half mile.
Yeah.
Cross that out.
okay, everybody good with that edit? Number 13, adequate provisions have been made for the transportation, storage, and disposal of hazardous substances and materials as defined by state law and the hazardous waste ordinance. This is not applicable with a note. There will be no storage and disposal of hazardous materials. Good. Number 14, the proposed use will not have any adverse impact on significant scenic vistas or on significant wildlife habitat which could be avoided by reasonable modifications of the plan. As far as the standard is met. Good. Number 15, the project will not increase nitrogen concentrations in surface or groundwater at the property line of the site in excess of the state of Maine drinking water standards. If groundwater contains contaminants in the excess of the primary drinking water standards, and the project is to be served by on-site groundwater supplies, the applicant shall demonstrate how water quality will be improved or treated to meet applicable standards. That is non-applicable. So based on the above noted findings, the planning board votes to approve with the conditions noted above or deny. So I think we should do the approve with the conditions noted above just because of our small edits. So if I can get a motion.
I motion to approve the findings and facts for 100 Bennett Hill Road.
With the conditions.
As edited.
Oh, approve with conditions noted.
I know what it says.
Can I get a second?
I'll second that.
All those in favor? All right.
Thank you for your
You're
time.
welcome.
Nice seeing everybody.
Thank you.
Yes.
All this just for us tonight? Sorry.
No, we had minutes. All right, so next is minutes of previous meetings. So we have two, the first one's for April 2nd, 2025. Did anybody have any questions, concerns, edits?
I do not.
Only the motion, does anybody know who that is?
Oh, yes.
I
This
think
is,
it's Jim's, I'm not sure.
Angela, did you look up who made the motion? Or,
No, because at the point, I haven't been able to plug the flash drive in. We had a minor glitch on
Oh,
that.
okay.
Was it minor?
I need to go back in now.
Okay.
So let's hold those to the
Okay.
next.
All right. So, do I need, you don't need a motion? No? Okay. All right, so the next one is April 23rd, 2025. Anybody have any questions, changes, edits?
One correction or edit.
Okay.
Page 2. Let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4. 5 paragraphs down, beginning with Rebecca stated her only concern is traffic. That paragraph, within that paragraph, you will see the town will be included in key for review.
Yep.
Should be the.
Anything else? Anybody have questions, concerns? All right, can I get a motion to approve the minutes from the April 23rd, 2025 meeting with the edits?
What was the motion? I make a motion
Yeah,
to
that's
approve the meeting minutes from April 23rd planning board meeting.
I second that.
All those in favor? All right. So next is communication.
I have
And
something.
we have miscellaneous.
Michaela
Oh, you have
has
some?
Yeah, I have
Okay.
a communication. SMPDC is hosting a free housing webinar next Thursday night, 5 to 7 p.m. If you're interested, I can send an email, but it's just, it's from a market rate housing developer, an affordable housing developer, a workforce housing nonprofit organization, and housing authority to talk about different ways that municipal housing ordinances can help with housing production of different sorts. It's just a panel discussion, and we're just inviting planning boards and select boards throughout the region, and you might have even gotten an email from me or from someone at SMPDC already, but just wanted to throw it out there that it's totally free to listen to.
Is it?
Next Thursday, May 15th, 5 to 7 p.m. And yeah, it should be interesting. And yeah, we'll see with all the legislation going through. It may be very relevant to hear different strategies. So I can send it again to Angela just in case anyone's interested.
Miscellaneous? All right, that leaves adjournment. Get a motion to adjourn?
I motion to adjourn.
Second.
All those in favor? All right, thank you.